What's going on, guys, and welcome to This Week in the Shop, where we sit down and talk about weird, interesting, or cool things that went on inside the dealership shop during the week. Now, it's been a few weeks since I filmed one of these because I've been absolutely ridiculously busy, whether that's going to the track with the car, leaving early Saturday morning, not having time to film and edit. Whatever my excuse might be, it's been a few weeks, but we've got a few interesting things here to talk about this week. Again, the big title issue here, Jeep Wrangler brake issue, massive issue. Now, this is specific to Jeep Wrangler JKs. Jeep Wrangler JKs 07 through 2018, the previous body style to the current body style that there is or that they are in production right now. Now, we are having or have been having for many years intermittent brake drag on Jeep Wrangler JKs. You'll typically come in with one of the two front brakes getting really hot, or the vehicle is really labored to take off from a stop, or whatever. The list of things kind of goes on. It almost feels like a transmission issue because at a stoplight, you let off the brake, it doesn't really go. You push on the gas, it again is just really labored to accelerate. And for the longest time, we kind of, or initially, we didn't really know what the issue was. We'd brake caliper, but we found that the brakes were dragging and have finally, obviously, figured out that brake hoses were being collapsed and holding the brake. So you push your brake pedal down, fluid pushes out through the hoses with a lot of PSI of pressure into the caliper, holding the brakes. You let your foot off the brake, but the hoses have collapsed and do not allow the fluid back into the brake fluid reservoir, basically working as a one-way check valve and holding the brakes. Now, like I said, this has gone on for quite some time. We put brake hoses on to take care of it, but oh my gosh. This week, I literally did 3 sets of JK brake hoses there. Again, it is primarily normally just one left, the left brake or the right brake, never the rear, it's always the front. But at this point now, with the age and mileage on JKs, we are just recommending replacing both. Now, I've got some pictures here that I'm hopefully showing. Now, what I think, or what is actually going on, is the metal bracket that bolts to the axle housing so the hose can route nicely, which was not there on earlier JKs. Like 07 through 2011 did not have this revision on the brake hose, so there wasn't the issue. But there was a service bulletin to add these style of brake lines to the earlier one, so yours could be affected. But if you've got this style with the bracket bolted on to the axle housing, there's a little 10mm bolt that holds it on. That metal bracket is rusting on the inside and basically closing in on the rubber brake line and again collapsing it from the outside in. Just again, this week I took a pair of pliers and bent that metal bracket open, and all of a sudden I didn't have brakes sticking. So you've got a couple of different options on fixing this issue. If yours was doing it, you could again bend that metal bracket open. It's actually a horribly painful thing to bend open because it's pretty thick metal in a tight little radius. It really doesn't bend open very nicely. Obviously, the proper shop dealership repair is replacement of the brake hoses. Yes, the new hoses do have those metal brackets, but it should last you another, 10, 15 years before this issue were to come up again, unless maybe you're in a rusty state and this happens really frequently. But I had, again, 3 JKs come in with brakes locking up. Again, not locking up, dragging is the proper word. Lifted the front end up. Now, the easy way to diagnose this thing, lift the front tires off the ground with a lift or a jack. Have someone fire the vehicle up, push your foot on the brakes a few times, pump the brakes, push them down as you normally would coming to a stop. Have somebody outside of the vehicle, let your foot off the brake, and see if you can turn the front tires. You should immediately be able to turn both front tires the second that person removes their foot from the brake. In all of these cases, you remove your foot from the brake and you physically can't turn the tires. They are so locked up due to the brake drag that you can't turn them, or one turns and the other one doesn't. But again, the proper repair, replacing both brake hoses and getting a fresh set of hoses and those metal brackets that aren't collapsing the hoses. Now, I have seen this on JLs also. I had a JL from a buddy that was doing a goofy brake drag issue, and sure enough, it was the exact same deal where that Jeep was from a slightly rustier state, but on the JL, that bracket was a lot easier to manipulate, a lot easier to unbend, if you will. I unbent both of those brackets and had immediate fix, no brake drag, and he was on his way. So again, replace the hoses if you want. You do have to bleed brakes, which is a little bit cumbersome, or try to unbend those brackets. But again, we are doing JK front brake hoses in the hordes. We need buckets of them here because all of a sudden it seems like we are getting them a lot quicker than we used to. So that's the big thing. Again, if you're planning on keeping your JK for a long time, or if you live in a rusty state, you probably already have this issue and you might want to address it. The next thing, a new thing for me that I have not done before. Now, on the channel, we've previously talked about Jeep Wrangler 4xe battery replacement. I've shown you, it's under the back seat. You use a cherry picker to lift the thing out. It's a pretty big ordeal, but it's not too awful bad. Well, unfortunately, I had to do a Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe battery, and there's not just one, there's two. There are two separate batteries connected underneath the vehicle. Exhaust has to be removed, heat shield, skid plates. It was not fun. I don't appreciate a Jeep Grand Cherokee hybrid battery. I will absolutely do Wranglers 3 times over versus doing a Grand Cherokee. But there it was sitting on the floor in a big, massive crate. The two Samsung 4xe hybrid batteries that got to get replaced. Now, yes, this is under the hybrid battery warranty. The customer didn't pay $1 other than the inconvenience of being in a rental car while their vehicle was down. But yeah, what a thing in 2025 to be putting massive Samsung cell phone batteries in vehicles under warranty. Next up is a little bit different here. You guys see all of those Amazon Dodge ProMaster vans driving around your neighborhoods, slinging packages every single day. Well, unfortunately, our shop is the one, at least in the Wichita area, that services like 99% of all of those vans. And you would assume a younger hired employee that is trying to deliver things as quick as possible is not going to take very good care of their free vehicle that they're driving. And oh my gosh, they do not. Transmissions blown up, just crashed into things. They are absolutely beat to the end of their life. And one of the things that continues to come up is lack of air from the vents. Now up here are two AC evaporator cores. Now those are the part that is behind the dashboard in the HVAC housing on every single vehicle, and that's what the AC refrigerant runs through. Air from the blower motor blows through that and cools the air that blows on you. And as you guys can see, we're gonna have a bit of an issue getting air through those AC evaporator cores, and that's because they are absolutely 100% packed with dirt. Now, you might also be saying, well, how's dirt getting in there? Isn't there a filter that filters the air that comes in? And yes, you'd be absolutely correct. But when you don't often or ever replace that filter because you're a fleet management company, dirt ends up getting past the completely plugged filter, or the filter gets pulled out or whatever. And then the next thing that gets absolutely plugged is the AC evaporator. So instead of replacing filters every month or every other month because they're absolutely beat down dirt roads. They're having to pay us to pull the dash to replace the evaporator to get some airflow through the dash. So just kind of a wild thing, kind of an expensive thing that I guess is on Amazon's dime or the fleet management company's dime. I guess I'm not really sure who's paying for that, but it's probably us end consumers at the end of the day. But just kind of a wild thing, just absolutely packed with dirt and dust from driving down dirt roads. Now, another thing, again, like I said, I haven't made a This Week in the Shop for multiple weeks, but here in the Kansas area or Wichita, Kansas area, a month ago or so, we just had weeks and weeks of what seemed like torrential rain. I mean, like flooding in the streets, cars flowing down street. It was pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. We took the 392 Wrangler down a flooded street that was up to the doors while other cars were floating down the river. It was pretty wild. But shortly after that, we had quite a few vehicles coming into the shop with runnability issues, running rough, dying, just hard to start, just all these issues. And no, these were not vehicles that went through 10 feet of water and flooded the motors. These were vehicles that, like every other gasoline vehicle, needed gas, and you went to the local gas station, filled up with fuel, and then had issues. And that's because so many gas stations, now I would assume all of your big name brand gas stations, your Quick Trips and those, probably have a lot nicer, more up-to-date tanks, filters, vents in the ground for those tanks. But I'm sure or assuming a lot of your cheaper, older, more run-down gas stations and gas stops probably have some water intrusion issues into their in-ground fuel tanks, because here's a fuel sample of what we found in a lot of these vehicles after the crazy heavy rains. As you guys can see here, we've got fuel and water, and they don't mix. Those are a fuel sample taken from a fuel rail out of a Jeep Grand Cherokee, sat there in a mason jar, and you can see our separation here of water and fuel. And if you didn't know, these vehicles don't run very good on water, and they definitely don't run good on watery mixed gasoline. So holy cow, we were doing a ton of fuel tank draining, refilling with fresh fuel, and normally that took care of it. But goodness gracious, it was quite an ordeal with all of the rain and flooding. We haven't gotten some rain now in a few weeks, so that's kind of gone away, but now it's just real hot outside, which is also kind of unfortunate. But guys, wanted to get out here and at least tell you about some of the cool, interesting things. And if you've got a JK Wrangler, you might want to throw some front brake hoses on it or fight and try to unbend those brackets there that are bolted to the axle housing. Maybe save yourself some brakes. Again, some of those were hanging and dragging enough to smoke the front brake pads, hot spot the brake rotors, and it needed hoses, brake pads, brake rotors. It kind of got expensive. So again, thank you guys for coming out here and waiting multiple weeks for a This Week in the Shop. And guys, hopefully I will see you here next week with more interesting, weird things that we deal with every single day. So guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.